राम 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 सर्वेभ्यः हृत्पूर्वक स्वागतं नमस्काराः च. Today we have all gathered here for the concluding session of Sri Lalita Sahasranama Stotram chanting session. Once again, a warm welcome to all the attendees of the session. We will start with our Samarpanam, and as you all are aware, we'll be having a very special chief guest, Shri Lalit Mahodaya, Shri Lalit Aditya Gannavaram Mahodaya as our chief guest today. He will be joining us shortly. Meanwhile, we will start with the program with Guru Vandanam. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Sadguru Pahi, Paramadayalo Pahi. Gurureva gatihi gurumeva bhaje, gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave, na guroh paramam shishurasmi guroh, matirasti gurau mama pahi guroh. So today's session agenda is set like this. So we will start with the Samarpanam by the students. I'll be calling out few names as I see them for chanting, and following that we will have course statistics. Then we will have a short introduction to our chief guest, Avadhani Shri Lalit Gannavaram, and there will be a talk by Shri Lalit Gannavaram on the importance of chanting Shri Lalita Sahasranama. We will have, after that, we will have vote of thanks, and I will also be sharing with you the details on the assessment, the structure, which will be followed by a Vyoma appeal and a feedback session from the students. I will be again requesting the students, the attendees, to raise their hands for feedback. So this is the session agenda for today. So we will start with the Samarpanam by students. Shivani, you can start with the Dhyanam. Let us all visualize the form of Sri Lalita Parameshwari before we start the Dhyanam. While we are all going to be on mute, while Shivani is chanting, I request all of you to chant along. Shivani.
Aruna Vigraham Trinayana Manikya Maulispurat Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhi Mapina Vakshoruham Panibhyamalipurna Ratna Chashakam Tattotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratna Ghatastha Charanam Dhyayet Paramambikam.
Dhanyavadaha Shivani. So let us start with the Samarpanam. I would like to call out one of our younger students, Lopa Mudra. Let me unmute her. Lopa Mudra, you're on self-mute. Yes, please.
Om Shri Mata Shri Maharagni Shrimat Simhasaneshwari Chitagnikunda Sambhuta Devakarya Samudyata.
Dhanyavadaha Lopa Mudra. L. Basvikar Mahodaya, have unmuted you. You can join us again. Yes.
सहस्राभा चतुर्बाहु समन्विता रागस्वरूप पाषाढ्य क्रोधाकाराङ्कुशोज्ज्वला।
धन्यवादाः महोदय। स्मिता भगिनी। स्मिता भगिनी। Okay, I'll move to the next person.
हरि ओम राम राम भगिनी।
हाँ, राम राम राम।
कोदण्डा पञ्चतन्मात्र सायका निजारुणप्रभापूरमध्यद्ब्रह्माण्डमण्डला।
धन्यवादाः स्मिता भगिनी।
धन्यवादः राम राम।
शैलजा भगिनी, have unmuted you.
नमस्ते भगिनी।
नमस्ते।
चम्पकाशोकपुन्नागसौगन्धिकलसत्कचा कुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटीरमण्डिता।
धन्यवादाः भगिनी। विभा।
अष्टमी चन्द्रविभ्राजदलिकस्थलशोभिता मुखचन्द्रकलङ्काभमृगनाभिविशेषका।
धन्यवादाः विभा। Prithvi, I request you to chant the last two verses.
आबालगोपविदिता सर्वानुल्लङ्घ्य शासना श्रीचक्रराजनिलया श्रीमत्त्रिपुरसुन्दरी।
धन्यवादाः। Prithvi, you can continue with the next verse also.
श्री शिवा शिवशक्त्यैक्यरूपिणी ललिताम्बिका एवं श्रीललिता देव्या नाम्नां साहस्रकं जगुः।
धन्यवादाः Prithvi. So I would like to share some course statistics. Gomati Bhagini has collected some statistics on the Lalita Sahasranama course, and this is how it looks like. So there have been totally 905 registrants for the course, and 34 classes have been conducted as on yesterday till date. Today is the concluding session, and we have had an average of around 130 participants in the live session. And some of our students are also following the classes on YouTube. So there are multiple views for the YouTube uploads as you see the numbers. So there is a graphical representation also of the same number of registrants and participants. So this is about the course statistics of the people, the attendees who have registered and taken attending the live session and accessing the course. So with this, we will move on to the next part of the program. So as our chief guest Shri Gannavaram Lalita Aditya join Gomati Bhagini?
No, Bhagini. We are waiting.
So I can meanwhile call out a few more names for chanting.
Yes, Bhagini.
Shubha Bhagini, I've unmuted you. Can start with the first verse. I'm not able to hear you, Bhagini. I'll move to the next person. Purnima Bhagini, you're on self-mute.
नमस्ते
नमस्ते।
ॐ श्रीमाता श्रीमहाराज्ञी श्रीमत्सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुण्डसम्भूता देवकार्यसमुद्यता।
धन्यवादाः पूर्णिमा भगिनी। Shanmukha, can you chant the same verse?
He's not there, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Saw his name. Okay. Umayyal Bhagini.
Ram, ma'am.
Ram. You can chant the first verse, please.
Om Shri Mata Shri Maharagni Shrimat Simhasaneshwari Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta Devakarya Samutyata.
धन्यवादाः उमयाल भगिनी। कण्णन् महोदय।
राम। ओम श्रीमाता श्रीमहाराज्ञी श्रीमत्सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुण्डसम्भूता देवकार्यसमुद्यता।
धन्यवादाः कण्णन् महोदय। Shanmukha, I see that now you have joined to a different system. You wanted to chant. Can you chant the second verse?
उद्यद्भानु सहस्राभा चतुर्बाहु समन्विता रागस्वरूप पासाध्या क्रोधाकाराङ्कुशोज्ज्वला।
धन्यवादाः Shanmukha. I guess Shanmukha is one of the youngest participants. He is 6 years old. Lalita Bhagini.
Ram.
Ram. Can you chant this verse?
मनोरूपेक्षुको दण्डा पञ्चतन्मात्रसायका निजारुणः प्रभापूरमज्जद्ब्रह्माण्डमण्डला।
धन्यवादाः ललिता भगिनी। Padmanabhan Mahodaya.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
चम्पकाशोकपुन्नागसौगन्धिकलसत्कचा कुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटिर्मण्डिता।
धन्यवादाः भगिनी।
धन्यवादाः।
Meena Bhagini, you wanted to chant?
Yes, ma'am. Shall I chant the same one, Champaka?
Sure.
Okay. Me, Ram Bhagini.
Ram.
Hello, Ram Bhagini. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Continue, Bhagini.
चम्पकाशोकपुन्नाग सौगन्धिकलसत्कचा कुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटिरमण्डिता.
Meena Bhagini, you have to chant these 2 lines without taking a pause.
Okay. Shall I try one more time?
Yes, please.
चम्पकाशोकपुन्नाग सौगन्धिकलसत्कचा कुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटिरमण्डिता.
धन्यवादाः भगिनी।
धन्यवादः। राम राम।
So generally, you know, when we are going to get something very good, very insightful knowledge, we have to wait for it. So, you know, when the Devi makes us to wait more, that means we are going to get more phala for that waiting. So I think that's what it is. So what we will do is we will keep chanting these 5 verses continuously. I request the panelists to chant these verses one by one till our chief guest arrives. We can start with Shivani, Vibha, and then Prithvi from Om Shri Mata. Shivani.
Om Shri Mata Shri Maharagni Shrimat Simhasaneshwari Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta Devakarya Samudyata
उद्यद्भानुसहस्राभा चतुर्बाहुसमन्विता रागस्वरूपपाषाढ्या क्रोधाकाराङ्कुशोज्ज्वला
मनोरूपेक्षुकोदण्डा पञ्चतन्मात्रसायका निजारुणप्रभा पूरमज्जद्ब्रह्माण्डमण्डला चम्पकाशोकपुन्नागसौगन्धिकलसत्कचा कुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटिरमण्डिता
अष्टमी चन्द्रविभ्राजदलिकस्थलशोभिता मुखचन्द्रकलङ्काभमृगनाभिविशेषका
वदनस्मरमाङ्गल्यगृहतोरणचिल्लिका वक्त्रलक्ष्मी परिवाहचलन्मीनाभलोचना
Can continue. Shivani, you can continue. Am I audible? I think it's a network issue on my end, or श्रूयते वा?
Ma'am, Shruyate.
Okay. So you can continue chanting Shivani from the 6th verse onwards. Or you want the text to be displayed?
Shivani has been muted by the organizer.
No. Okay. Yeah, I have muted her. Right.
वदनस्मर माङ्गल्य गृहतोरणचिल्लिका वक्त्रलक्ष्मी परिवाह चलन्मीनाभलोचना
Vibha?
नवचम्पकपुष्पाभनासा दण्डविराजिता ताराकान्तितिरस्कारिणा साभरणभासुरा
कदम्बमञ्जरी क्लृप्तकर्णपूरमनोहरा ताटङ्कयुगलीभूततपनोडुपमण्डला
Okay, so I just got a message that our chief guest will be joining anytime. Yes, is joined. Namaskaraha Mahodaya. Swagatam. So today is indeed a very blissful day, a very unique day for all of us, that we have Shri Lalit Aditya Gannavaram Mahodaya with us. Swagatam Mahodaya, Namaskaraha cha. It is indeed a pleasure for me to welcome Shri Lalit Gannavaram Mahodaya. Dhanyah vayam adya mukhya athithi rupena Shri Lalit Aditya Gannavaram Mahodaya atra virajante. Hrutpurvaka Namaskaraha Mahodaya. So it is, once again, I would like to welcome all of you to this concluding session of the Sri Lalita Sahasranama chanting course. So I would like to introduce Shri Mahodaya, Lalit Mahodaya to all of us. Shri Lalit Aditya Gannavaram Mahodaya, who has a very unique special title. As you see, Shatavadhana Sharat Chandra Kala Kalakanta Yuvavadhana Shiromani. So it is a pleasure for us to have you as part of this concluding session, Mahodaya. Introducing him to this audience here, the blessed audience here. His mother and father are Srimati Shailaja and Shri Maruti Gannavaram. He has learnt various Shastras from various gurus. He has learnt Vedanta from Shri Venkpati Kutumba Shastri Garu. He has learnt Tarka Shastra from Shri Vishwanatha Gopala Krishna Shastri Garu. He has learnt Avadhanam from Shri Dhulipala Mahadeva Mani Garu. So you can see that he has done various Avadhana Sevas in Shankar Matas and across many stages in different countries like India, US and Canada. He has learned Vyakarana from Shri Chiravuri Padmanabha Sharma Garu, Vedam from Shri Mallapragada Shri Srinivasa Garu. So as you see, he is a person who has accomplished and achieved a lot in various Shastras. He has given pravachanas, the discourses on various topics from texts like Ramayana, Bhagavata, Bhagavad Gita, Shankara Digvijaya and others. It's not only this much, he has also authored a few Shatakas, Nakha Shataka, 108 poems which is glorifying the Narasimha's nails. So he's it's a pleasure for us to listen to him sharing his insights, his knowledge on the importance of Sri Lalita Sahasranama with all of us. Mahodaya, once again a warm welcome to you. Hrutpurvaka Swagatam Namaskaraha cha. With this, I would like to hand over the session to you to address the audience and share your talk, your knowledge with us on Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Lalit Mahodaya, Shri Lalit Mahodaya.
We are unable to hear you, Ji.
I think it's unmuted, right? Yes. Shri Lalit Mahodaya, are you able to hear us?
ललित महोदय इदानीं श्रूयते वा?
Shruyate Mahodaya. So I was telling that the more we wait, we are going to have the pleasure of that phala will be very good. So we are very happy that you are with us today.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Vedandasya Giram Devim Sadguroh Pad Pankajam Jagadguroshcha Shangadrasthan Vandartha Siddhaye Pramananakha Nirbhin Namaha Moha Mararaye Namaskurman Nrisimhaya Saprakasha Chidatmane Akrisham Kuchayoh Krishan Valagne Vipulam Chakshushi Vistratan Nitambe Hridaye Aruna Mavirasya Chitte Karunashali Kapali Bhagadheyam. Namaskaram everyone. First, I would like to apologize for the delay. Although I am an engineer, it was a bit hard for me to log into this new interface. But nonetheless, I am here. So I am very fortunate to be able to speak about Lalita Sahasranama today. And you all are also very lucky that you have been able to complete the study of Lalita Sahasranama under a qualified guru. Because Lalita Sahasranama is a very interesting text. So we have several genres of texts in Sanatana Dharma. We have our Vedas, we have our Shastras, we have Puranas, Itihasas. And generally texts will fall into any one of these categories. If you're learning Kaumudi, that will fall into Vyakarana Shastra. If you're doing something like Bhagavatam, that will fall into Purana. If you're doing something like Advaita Siddhi, that will fall into Vedanta. If you're doing something like Muktavali, that will be in Tarka. So the different texts will be under the aegis, under the umbrella of different types of Shastra Granthas. But every now and then we will come across some texts which, although they will perhaps be found in a certain genre, their reach will span several other genres. So for example, if we have Bhagavata, it is a Purana in that it is Bhagavata Mahapurana, it is one of the 18 Puranas of Vedavyasa Maharshi. But at the same time, it is intended to be a primer on Vedanta because Vyasa Maharshi starts with the two Brahma Sutras, Janmadhyasyataha, and then Ikshadena Shabdat is taken in the Abhijna Swarat part of the Mangalacharana Shloka. So just as Bhagavata is also like that, Lalita Sahasranama, though it is found in a Purana, in Brahmanda Purana, in the Uttarakhanda, it is also part of Tantra, meaning it is part of the Upasana Sampradaya of Devi, and by extension, especially given it is Shri Vidya, it is also a part of the Vedanta Sampradaya. And that is the relationship that I will be trying to explore over the next maybe 20 or so minutes. So as I said, this Lalita Sahasranama is part of Shri Vidya. So there are mainly 10 different ways of doing Upasana of Devi. The Dasha Mahavidyas they are called. So Kali, Tara, Bhuvaneshwari, Tripura Sundari. So there are 10 different ways of visualizing the Adi Shakti, that is the Chaitanyam that runs this world. And of those, the greatest way to do Upasana of Devi, the greatest way to visualize Devi is called Shri Vidya or Tripura Sundari Vidya. It is called Shri Vidya because it is the greatest of Vidyas. Abhyuktan Nama Shri Pada Purvam Prayanjita is a Nyaya that Bhaskara Raya himself quotes while doing Vyakhya for Shri Mata. So when something is the greatest of its category, we add the prefix Shri in front of it. For example, mango is called Shri Phala because it is the greatest of fruits. Shri Shaila is called Shri Giri because it is the greatest of mountains. In the same way, the other two examples that Shastra gives there are Shri and Shri Chakra. So Shri Chakra, of all the yantras that represent devatas, the Shri Chakra is the greatest, and in the same way of all the Vidyas, Shri Vidya is the greatest. Now, what is Vidya? Because we have Vidyaya Amritamashmate in Upanishad. Right? Upanishad tells us that Vidyaya Amritamashmate, with Vidya, moksha is attained. And specifically in Upanishad Sampradaya, Vidya refers to Upasana. Now, although the Upanishads are geared towards Nirguna Brahma Sakshatkara, although the Upanishads are geared towards realizing a Brahman that is without name, without form, without qualities, Nirnama, Nirupa, Nirguna, etc., it still gives us some upasanas to do. The Upanishads themselves give us some upasanas to do. There is Antarvidya, there is Antaraksha Vidya, there is Udyatopasana. Such upasanas are given to us in Upanishad. And these upasanas are called Vidyas. In the Upanishadic terminology, these upasanas are called Vidyas. But these upasanas are not the kind of upasanas that are in vogue today, per se. Right? Today, upasanas are, there is a devata, there will be a mantra, there will be a tantra, a yantra, there will be a rupa, and you do japa of that mantra, you do puja of that yantra, you visualize that rupa, and that is how upasana is done. If you have Shiva, you take Panchakshari, you do the dhyana shloka, and then there will be some yantra that you can do puja to. In the same way with Devi, you do, hopefully at some point we'll get Shri Vidya Purna Diksha, so you will go up to Panchadashi or Shodashi, and then you will do puja of the Shri Chakra, and you will do dhyana of Devi as sitting in Manidvipa with 4 arms, with the Chandrakala on her head, Kanak Kanchi Dama Karikalava Kumbhastana, and all of that rupa you will do dhyana of. In the Upanishads, the upasana is not of this manner. They will give you some philosophical concept. Occasionally, they will also give you a figure to do upasana. For example, there is Antaraditya Upasana, where within the mandala, the Surya Bimba, the Surya Mandala, right? Within the orb of the sun, within the disk of the sun, they tell you that there is a Purusha who is Hiranya Shmashruhu, Hiranya Keshaha. You know, his mustache and beard are gold, his hair is gold. And then Upanishad ends up saying, Apranakhat Sarvamaya Suvarnaha, from the tips of his toenails all the way up to the top of his head. He is completely made of gold. And you have to do upasana of that Purusha in the sun. And then there is another Antaraksha Upasana, where the same Purusha is to be meditated upon as residing within the pupil of the eye. And then there are vicharas on this and whatnot. But these are the kinds of upasanas that are given in Upanishad. Now, what Rishis very nicely did was, because the upasanas given in Upanishads are a bit more abstract, right? The mind needs something to hold on to. They gave us something more to latch on to. The mind basically needs something that it can think about, something it can dwell on, somewhere where it can be interested and engrossed. And literally every single letter that the Rishis have given us is devoted in some way or the other towards enabling that to happen. Whether it be sharpening the mind through Shastra, whether it be focusing the mind through Upasana, whether it be purifying the mind through Karma, every single thing in our Sanatana Dharma is geared towards preparing the mind to get Brahmajnana. So what our Rishis did was, they gave us these Upasana margas of Devatas. Now this Upasana also can be done in 2 ways. You can do Upasana of a Devata as a Devata, namely as a esoteric entity that is of greater Shakti than the Upasaka. So as some being that is, Sarvashakti, that is at a higher stage than we are at, and that we can ask things from. Or you can do Upasana of the Devata as Brahman itself. Now, obviously, the second option is much more conducive to sadhana bearing fruit. But these upasanas are not made up per se. So although the Rishis have given us these upasanas are not are created, because these are all forms and names that belong to Brahman itself. There is a very nice shloka, Ananta Namadheyaya Sarvakara Vidhayine Sarva Mantrartha Vachyaya Vishwaika Pataye Namaha. So what does this mean? Ananta Namadheyaya Vishwaika Pataye Namaha. Namaskaram to that entity. There is no Devata's name set here. Just Namaskaram to that entity that is the protector of the world. Vishwaika Pati. How is this Pati? Ananta Namadheyaya. So one who has infinite names. Sarvakara Vidhayine, one who either creates or has infinite forms. Samasta Mantra Vachyaya. Samasta Mantra Vachyaya. One who is the Tatparya of all mantras, whether it be Veda mantras or Tantra mantras or Agama mantras. So this is the nature of Brahman, and from that our rishis will select a name, they will select a form, and they will select a mantra that best encapsulates an aspect of Brahman or Brahman in its entirety for us to do upasana. And the all 1,000 names that were selected by Hayagriva or by Vyasa for this in this Lalita Sahasranama are geared towards exactly that. And this is not me saying that, this is Bhaskara Raya saying that. Whenever we speak about anything in Sanatana Dharma, and specifically though, or especially whenever we speak about Tantra, it is very important to draw from Sampradaya, right? Because even Devi is Kulamarga. She is the establisher of Kulamarga. This Kula refers to the Upasana Sampradaya. Kulamarga Tatpara Sevita. Kulakundalaya Kulamarga Tatpara Sevita. Right? So this Kulamarga is the Upasana Sampradaya that has been passed down by, it is said that there are 3 types of gurus in Shri Vidya. Divya, Siddha, Manava. So there are devatas who have done this upasana. So like Manmatha, Brahma, such devatas are pravartakas of Shri Vidya, Parameshwara. Then there is Siddhas. So the rishis, Durvasa Maharshi, Agastya Maharshi, there are rishis who are pravartakas of Shri Vidya. And then there are Manavas, so Bhagavatpada, Bhaskaranaya, such there are these Gauda Bhagavatpada, these humans, they are gurus, but in human form who have done this. So these gurus have laid out a sampradaya, and whenever we speak about upasanas and agamas, it is very important that we understand the sampradaya, because other texts in Sanatana Dharma, there is a certain amount of academic understanding that can be coupled with it. But with upasana, the margins are very fine for interpretation, because that is honestly where a lot of the main pratipattis happened when the West was first introduced to the Hindu system of worship. Because some things are meant to be taken literally, some things are symbolic, some things are both symbolic and literal. So whenever we wish to speak or comment on our upasana margas, it is always best to have the guide of Purvacharyas. So that is why I was directed to look at Bhaskara Raya Vyakya whenever I was told to speak on Lalita Sahasranama. So Bhaskara Raya himself, so by the first 3 names, he says Shri Mata, Shri Maharajni, Shrivat Simhasaneshwari are the first 3 names of Lalita Sahasranama. What is the 1,000th name? Does anyone know? Can this be interactive? I don't know if everyone can speak. The 1,000th name of Lalita Sahasranama. So the first name is Shri Mata. Second name is Shri. Sorry? Sorry, can you repeat?
People are answering because we have to unmute them. Lalitambika is what the answer given by the attendees.
Okay, Lalitambika. So there are several ways of numbering Lalita Sahasranama, but as per Bhaskara Raya's Mata, the last name is Shri Shiva Shivashakti Aikya Rupini, is where Bhaskara Raya says that the 1,000 names of Lalita Sahasranama end. And he explains why that is so. So the breakdown of the names. So the first 3 names, Shri Mata, Shri Maharajni, and Shrimat Simhasaneshwari, are giving us the Srishti Sthiti Laya Karakatva Lakshana of Brahman. And the rest, the other 997 names, are giving us the Tirodhara Anugraha Lakshana of Brahman, is what Bhaskara Raya says. And then in the end, when we come to the actual name Lalita, he says, Etavati Yeti Prabandhe, Etavadbhihi Namabhihi. So, thus far, in all the Grantha that has been told so far, with all the names that have been told so far, Prathamai Stribhir Namabhihi, Brahmana Srishthisthitraya Kartritvam Lakshayitva, Kartritvena Devatam Lakshayitva. So, by the first 3 names, we have designated a Devata that is Srishthisthitraya Karta, and then Tirodhana Anugraha Anantara Vishayat etavat paryantam. So by the lakshanas of Tirodhana and Anugraha, until now we have been looking at this devata by the next 997 names, and then idrisha panchakritya kartrim pratyekena namna abhishtauti lalitambika iti is the way that Bhaskara Raya runs the Vyakhya. So kind of let's give ourselves some context for this. So when we wish to know Brahman, there are two types of lakshanas that Shastra gives us. One is called Swarupa Lakshana and one is called Tatastha Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana is the simplest. Brahman in itself as it is. So Sat Chit Ananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the Upanishadic definition of that. So existence, consciousness, Ananda. So these three are the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahman. And then we have a second quality of Brahman, or a second way of looking at Brahman, that is called Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha means what? That on the bank. So an observer's view of Brahman. So not Brahman as itself, but how an observer would view Brahman. And for that we have Yato Vayavani Bhutani Jayante Yena Jatani Jivanti Yat Priyanti Vishanti Tadvijijñasasva Tad Brahmeti. So in Upanishad, Varuna tells Bhrigu that the Tatastha Lakshana of Brahman is that which, from where the worlds originate, from where beings originate, or from where all things that have existence originate, wherein they stand fixed, and that into which they dissolve again. So that is Brahman. So basically that which does Srishti Sthiti Laya of the worlds is the Tatastha Lakshana of Brahman. The Swarupa Lakshana is done in 3 words. Sat Chit Ananda. There is literally nothing more that you can elaborate on that. But it is how Brahman plays with this world, how Brahman gives rise to this world, how Brahman interacts with this world, how Brahman forms the substratum of this world, how this world dissolves back into Brahman, where there is scope for expansion, or the most scope for expansion. So most of our upasanas are geared towards this. And even Bhagavat-pada, therefore, when he starts his Sutra Bhashya, he says, Kim dve brahmani veditavye. Do we have to now figure out 2 different Brahmans? One is a Swarupa Lakshana Brahman and one is a Tatastha Lakshana Brahman. Do we have to know both of them? He says, Badham. Of course we do. So the upasana is being done of the Jnaya Brahma or Upasya. There are 2 types of Brahman, Jnaya Brahma and Upasya Brahma. The Jnaya Brahma is the Swarupa Lakshana, the Brahman that we are supposed to know, understand, enjoy through Aparoksha Anubhuti, through our own experience. And then on the other side, you have the Upasya Brahma, the Brahman to do Upasana of, the Brahman to understand, the Brahman to contemplate on, the Brahman to do sadhana of. And that is the prapanchana that is happening here. That is the elaboration that is happening here in Lalita Sahasranama. So the first 3 names, Shri Mata, the greatest creator, the greatest mother. So she who gives rise to this world. And then Shri Maharagni, the greatest empress. Ragni is a queen. So she who is the greatest ruler of these worlds. So Srishti Sthiti now. And then Shrimat Simhasaneshwari. So Bhaskara Raya writes here. So as in Sanskrit, some words they come with Akshara Vyatyasa. So for example, the word Simha actually comes from the word Himsa. Hinasti iti Simha. So that which is the Himsa is Simha. So she who is seated on a throne to do that Himsa of the world, meaning she that does Laya when the time is right, Samprapte Pratsanchare, when the time is right for this world to be dissolved back into its avyakta form, into its unmanifest form. So by these first 3 names, the fact that Devi does Srishti, Sthiti and Laya has been made clear in Bhaskara Raya's Vyakhya. And then from there onwards, the other 997 names are directed towards Tirodhana and Anugraha. Tirodhana we can broadly consider Avarana Shakti, that which deludes the world, and then Anugraha is the giving of moksha, the removal of the veil of Maya. So the other names, whether it be Shadadhati, Tarupini, or Maheshwara, Mahakalpa, Mahatandava Sakshini, Mahakameshwarayana, Mahakameshwari, Srimad Tripura Sundari, all these other names are directed towards teaching us that. And there are some very nice names that require a very specific understanding of Sri Vidya, and some that will couple it with yoga, some that will couple it with Sankhya, some that will couple it with Vedanta. So the point I'm trying to make is that Lalita Sahasranama spans a very broad gamut of knowledge. If you have, just as if we do Bhagavad Gita, we have all the Upanishads at our fingers. Right, 700 mostly Anushtup shlokas, and that's it. For Bhagavad Gita, you have Upanishad Sara in your hand. In the same way, Lalita Sahasranama, those 160 odd names, those shlokas, those 1000 names, if you have those in your hand, you basically have the entire summation of all of the Vedanta Jnana that our Maharshis have wished to impart to us. So, for example, we have Abala Gopa Vidita. This is a very beautiful name. So, Abala Gopa Vidita. So, Balam Gopa Yati iti Bala Gopa. So, one who protects Bala is Bala Gopa. So, Balas are all the children of this world. One who protects the children that are of the form of this world is Bala Gopa. So, Bhaskararaya takes this to mean either Shiva, either Kameshwara, or Vishnu even. And then there is another Bala Gopa. So, Bala Gopam Prati Abhivyaptau, Abala Gopau. Abala Gopam is the way that the Samasa is derived. So, one that is known from Bala Gopa to Bala Gopa. So, one Bala Gopa that they give in the meaning is either Krishna or also Shiva. The other Bala Gopa is a child that is a cowherd. So a baby, right? A baby is the simplest of beings. It is just born. It has had no education yet. Probably cannot even speak. Does not understand words even. So that is one baby on one side. And the other Bala Gopa on the other side, the protector of Balakas is Shiva. Let's just take it to be Parameshwara. And Devi is Vidita by both of these two. Devi is known by both of these two. So both by the greatest entity in this world, which is Parameshwara, and both by the simplest entity in this world that cannot even speak or listen or understand, which is a Devi. Devi is able to be experienced by both of these two. How is this possible? Because she is the Ahankara within us. She is the experience of I-ness. So that within us, which causes us to feel that this body is me, this body has I-ness, that this mind has I-ness, that this, Buddhi, Annamaya Sharira, Pranamaya Sharira, all of this, the Abhimana that is present in all of these, the root of all of that Ahanta Mula is Devi. So whether it be a baby, whether it be Parameshwara, whether it be a human in the middle or an animal or a Devata or any other life form, they all have one thing in common and they all experience I-ness. That is the common factor. That I-ness, that Ahanta is Devi. And just so we can kind of see how this relates, the same thing is brought out in Saundarya Lahari. When Bhagavad Pada says, Purastad Astannaha Puramathitur Aho Purushika. Puramatituhu Aho Purushika. He says the same thing there. So Saundarya Lahari is an immensely great supplement to Lalita Sahasranama. For those people who have learned Lalita Sahasranama, Saundarya Lahari provides a very nice supplement to that, because Bhagavad Pada has basically done Vyakhyana of that same Lalita Tattva through shlokas and kavitva. So here he says, Puramatituhu Aho Purushika. Aho Purushika means Ahankara Swarupini. So may that Devi be in front of us. Naha Purastat Astam. May she stand in front of us. She who is the Puramatituhu Aho Purushika. Puramatituhu. To one who has conquered the Puras, she is the Ahankara Swarupini of him. So what are these Puras? All the triads and the Tripuras in this world. The three Avasthas, the three Dehas, the three Kalas, the three, all of the triads that exist in this world, the Bhurbhuvasaha, those three lokas, all the triads that exist in this world are Puras, the three Gunas, but mainly the Gunas are what are taken, Pura Mathituhu. So to one who has conquered those Puras, to one who has subdued those Puras, she is his Ahankara Swarupini. She is his I-ness. So again, there are more Prakasha Vimarsha terms in Sri Vidya, but we will not go into those. But the point I have been basically trying to elaborate upon is that this Sri Vidya is a very intricate system of Upasana that is geared towards Advaita. There are various forms of Upasana, various Devatas exist, but none are as Advaitic as Sri Vidya is. And that is why Sri Vidya is Sri Vidya. That is why it is the greatest of all of these. Because let us say you do Krishna Upasana, there is a Advaita Paksha, there is a Dvaita Paksha, there is a Vishishta Advaita Paksha, there is a Shuddha Advaita Paksha, there is a Bheda Bheda Paksha. There are so many different Siddhantas that will do Krishna Upasana. Same thing, Rama Upasana, Shiva Upasana. Shiva Upasana, in fact, it is very interesting because the Shaiva Darshana, a Bhedi wrote that, Bheda Bheda Siddhanti wrote the Shaiva Bhashya for the Brahma Sutras, But then Appai Dikshita, who is a staunch Advaiti, goes and comments on it in an Advaita way. So these such splits in Sampradayas exist across all other Upasanas, all other Devatas. But in Srividya, it is inextricably, irrevocably Advaitic in nature. So it is that Lalita Sahasranama that concludes, after having taught us that Brahmanda Srishti Sthiti Laya Tirodhana Anugraha, that it does, that Brahman is Panchakritya Parayana. Through these 1000 names, it concludes with the name Lalita. So after giving these 1000 names, then Bhaskara asks the question. So we have told Srishti Sthiti Laya with 3 names. We have done Tirodhana and Anugraha with the next 997. So who are these 1000 names talking about? So he says that Visheshya Bhutam Devatam Pratyekena Namna Abhishtavati. So all these names are Visheshanas. Right? Who is the Visheshya? What is the Visheshya? What is being talked about here? And for that, he says it is Lalita. So the name Lalita is then given in the end. And I guess I do have a bit of swartha in talking about this, but the fact remains that Lalita is the name that is designated to this Devata. So another beautiful thing is, for our Devatas, not just these Visheshanas, not just these adjectival words, but the names themselves will always have 2 meanings. One meaning would be geared towards the Saguna aspect of the Devata. One meaning will be geared towards the Nirguna aspect of the Devata. A quick example, Rama. And one Rama is Rama that was named by Vashishta Maharshi, that was the son of Dasharatha, husband of Sita, killer of Ravana, etc. etc. But the very common description given is Ramante Yogino Nityam Satyanande Chidatmani Tasmad Ramapadayana Sumar Brahmati. So Rama means Ramanakatvat Rama. That which causes happiness, that which is happy, that which gives rise to happiness is Rama, basically Ananda Swarupa. In the same way, Krishna, and Krishna means what? Dark, black, very dark in color. But then the Vidpati is given. Murdhaturanyatra Krishna Nirvana Vachaka Tayoraikyam Param Brahma Krishna Iti. So the Krish part of it means Sapta. The Na part of it means Ananda. So basically you get Sadananda. This is the meaning of Krishna Shabda. And like this, whenever there is an Upasana Sampradaya, the first Vyakhyana of the Devata's name will happen in this way. So now we have the name Lalita. So yes, the name Lalita refers to the 4-armed Devata that sits in Manadvipa, that is the sphere of Bhandasura, that is the spouse of Kameshwara, that sits within the 9 Prakaras of the Sri Chakra, the 9 Avaranas of the Sri Chakra. But the word Lalita itself has several names. So one we have is Lalita Marticheshtitam is one. So Latin is called Lalita. Then Saukumariyam Lalityam. So delicateness, gentleness is called Lalitya. Then Navarkosha we have Srinam Vilasa Vibhoga Vibhrama Rahitam. So the playful acts of streets that have great Vilasa are called Lalita. But these are not the definitions that we are concerned with. There is one definition given in Padma Purana. Loka Lalitya Lalate, Lalita Atena Chochyate. Because she Lalate means to sport, to be happy, basically to be happy. Lalate, and this is the same word that we get Lalana from. So Lalana is a word for street. The Leela is also derived from the same one, a playful act. So that Lalate means she plays. How Loka Ratitya, having transcended the words, she sports. Loka Ratitya. Now, what are these lokas? Again, there is a twofold. There is one for Gaya Brahman and one for Upasya Brahman. The word loka refers to the Avarana Devatas. It refers to the Avarana Devatas. So Shishakra has 9 Avarana. So the Hindu is one. And you have Sarvarokana Chakra, Sarvanandamaya Chakra, etc. You have all these Sarvasiddhimaya Chakra. You have all these 8 chakras going out. And then these loka atitya, so starting from the outside, from the Bhupura, going into this, having crossed all the lokas, having crossed all the Avarana Devatas, she plays in the center. She plays in the middle of that Sri Chakra. And then this is one meaning as per Sri Vidya. Then there is a second meaning as per Brahman, where the lokas refers to anything that is seen. Alokyate iti lokaha. That which is seen is loka. So that which transcends drishya is
Lalit Mahodaya, sorry to interrupt you.
Your voice is echoing. It is not very clear actually. There's a lot of echo happening, so the audio is not very clear. Is it?
Shall I disconnect from audio and join again?
You want to rejoin? Yes,
Yeah,
you can do that.
Shall I read it? Okay.
Yes.
Ram Ram, am I audible now?
Perfect, Mahodaya. Shruyate. Samyak Shruyate.
Okay, sorry. So I was saying, Lokan Atitya Lalate. So the definition that we are talking for Lalita is she who sports having transcended the lokas. So these lokas are a term in Shri Vidya for the Avarana Devatas. So we have 9 Avaranas of the Shri Chakra, right? So you have the Mahi, the Bhupura Chakra in the beginning, and then Sarvasiddhikara Chakra, Sarvarogahara Chakra, Sarvanandamaya Chakra. You have all of these different Avaranas. And in the middle, you have the Bindu, which is Devi's Nivasasthana. So Lokan Atitya Lalate means she sports in the Bindu having transcended all the 9 Avaranas. This is the Upasana meaning of it. Now, if we take the meaning of it in terms of Brahman, we have Loka, Alokyate iti Loka, that which is seen, that which is Drishya Padartha is Loka. The Drik is Brahman. So not the object that is seen, but the seer that transcends it is Brahman. So in that sense, Loka and Atitya Lalate, that which transcends the Loka is Lalita. One meaning for Lalita. Then we have another meaning where we have Tava Nama Yuktam, Laliteti Nama Yuktam, Tava Khalu Divya Navavritayah, Dhanuraikshavam, Astranyapi Kusumani, Tathakhilam Lalitam is another shloka that Bhaskara Raya quotes while talking about this. So he says, Devi, in fact, the most apt name for you is Lalita. Why? Because Lalita means that which is Anandamaya, Ananda. So how is that? Because your Tavakila Divya Navavritayah, because of your Avaranas, that is one thing that we just talked about. But also Dhanuhu Aikshavam Astranyapi Kusumani. See, for anyone that is a warrior, anyone that fights, the Dhanus and the arrows must be very harsh, very fierce, very aggressive. Otherwise, there is no point in going to war. If you want to have peace treaties, you sit at home. Right? No one goes to war to be nice. So for anyone, the bows, arrows, these weapons are all very cruel, harsh, cold, calculating things. But with Devi, your Dhanus is Aikshavam. Your bow is sweet. Your bow tastes really good because her bow is Ikshudanda, Pundra Ikshudanda. It is a sugarcane. And Astranyapi Kusumani. And your arrows are also very fragrant and soft and smooth because your arrows are also flowers. So he says, Lalita is the most apt name for you because even the Astras and Dhanas that is supposed to be Parusha are ending up being Lalita for you. But the meaning is Lalita is Ananda, right? So the Ananda that is the true nature of all beings. The Ananda that is not of the Ananda. So the happiness, we very frequently translate Ananda as bliss or happiness. that at least in my reading and in my learning, that strays a bit from what the Ananda is supposed to mean. It is not so much happiness as it is tranquility. So it is not the Ananda because of the way that we conceptualize Ananda. Because for us, Ananda is the experience of something. Or Ananda is Bahirmukha. We must either take in something through the Jnanendriyas, or we must do something by our Karmendriyas, and only then do we experience Ananda in the mind. But the Ananda that is spoken about in Vedanta, and by extension all the other texts as well, is not the Ananda of experiencing something, but the Ananda of just existing. The Ananda of being in oneself. Atmarama, right? Atmaramastu munaya. The Ananda that exists of just being in oneself. There is no experience of an object happening. There is no vritti per se that the object is being experienced through for the mind, but just the tranquility of being at peace with oneself, not experiencing anything else for the sake of Ananda, is the Ananda that we're talking about. And this is present to us very clearly. The beautiful thing about Advaita is it is perhaps the only darshana that is completely resolvable with experience. So we experience this every night. The second we cross Sapnavastha and go to Sushupti, we are not experiencing anything per se. There is only the avidya vritti that we experience the Ananda through, which is why at that time we are not aware of the Ananda. We have to only figure out the Ananda through pratyabhijna, through retroactive speculation. But at that point in time, the Ananda that every single being feels, you can be rugna, you can be afflicted with some disease, you can be very mentally stressed, you can be very depressed, you can be starved, you can be thirsty. The body and mind can be in any sorts of trouble. But the second that you cross Sapnavastha and go into Sushupti, every single being across the globe that has ever existed has only ever experienced Sukha, because it is the Sukha of being in oneself. It is not the particular Ananda that comes off enjoying some Bhogya Vastu. So that is the Lalita, the Ananda. And also, even if we take it, we can take it as a Bhavarupakta even. Lalitam means Ananditam, right? We have the famous Karika, the shloka that is quoted in Kaumudi, Mukundasyasitam idam yatam ramapate. So yatam does not just have to be something that is reached or gone to. Yatam just means going. Or asitam. Asitam does not have to mean the thing that is stood upon or the place that where something is put, but instead staying, being is the meaning that can be taken. In the same way, bhuktam, the eating is the meaning that can be taken, not just that which is eaten. So in the same way, if we take lalitam, it will basically mean being happy or being peaceful, being tranquil, being happy is the end. And I guess that is what we all are really looking for in the end, being happy. So this is the Devata, this Lalita is the Devata that is of that form. She is no different from Brahman, but she is also a Devata that we can do Upasana of. And the goal of Vyasa Maharshi and Hayagriva in giving us these 1000 names is for us to tell these names as Upasana, because these names themselves are imbued with mantric properties. So Parayana will have one phala, but for Purna phala, obviously, sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisambhyate. Everything gets tied up, everything gets finished, everything becomes complete only when the immersion jnana happens. So, and Vyoma Samskrita Pathashala is a phenomenal platform for that, because as far as I see, there are several other programs that will teach Parayanas, there are several other programs that will teach chanting, but A, very few of them are as dedicated as Vyoma is, and B, very few of them actually go through with teaching the meaning the way that Vyoma does as well. So for that, all the students, I speak to you now. You are very lucky to have been in this course. You are very lucky to have finished this course. There is a, Katham Akrita Punyah Prabhavati, Bhagavad Pada says, even Virinchi and Hari and Hara are unable to praise you, Devi. How can someone who has not done Punya praise you, right? And, the Tatparya being that if we are able to think of Devi in this life, if we are being able to do stotra, for do upasana, for do japa, for do smarana of her, it is the fruit of some Purakrita Punya and also of Guru Anugraha. These two are always the railroad tracks that our life needs to run on. We need to have our Adhyana and Anushtana to make sure that we are doing the best for ourselves, and at the same time, without Guru Karuna, literally nothing in life will come. So these two things, or the cause, the nidanam of you being able to finish Lalita Sahasranamam today. So that is a fortune, and let us keep growing this fortune in the form of Jnana Yajna, which I'm sure that your teachers will arrange for and assist you in. So again, I'm sorry for having started this late, but I have also told my next partha that I will be about 20-25 minutes-ish late, so I can stay for another 10 minutes. Thank you all, and especially the organizers and Venkat Mahodaya for giving me the opportunity to speak about Devi. Namaste. Thank you.
Dhanyavad. We are very thankful to you for sharing your insights on Sri Lalita Sahasranama with us. Especially, you covered for us the first three names, the important the first three, and how the Visheshanas for Sri Lalita Ambika, the last name, and how it is related to Brahman, etc. So it was a very insightful session for us. I request Prithvi Bhagini to render the vote of thanks. Let me share my screen.
That slide in the drishyate, Bhagini. Okay. My pranams to our very distinguished chief guest for the evening, all the elders and friends present here. We are truly blessed and humbled to be a part of this journey. My namaskara rupa dhanyavada to our chief guest, Sri Lalit Gannavaram Mahodaya, for the wonderful insights on the names of Devi and the greatness of Lalita Sahasranama. It was truly magical to experience Lalita Sahasranama, the names of Lalita Parameshwari from Lalit Mahodaya. So, Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. My salutations and heartfelt gratitude to our dearest teacher, Srimati Sandhya Rajesh Mahodaya, for inspiring us every day to learn and chant the verses with impeccable pronunciation and special focus on the nuances of Ucharanam in this second batch of Learn to Chant Sri Lalita Sahasranama. I pray God that we have many, many more such batches in the future as well. I also thank our e-learning administrator for this course, Gomati Bhagini, the volunteers, and the entire Vyoma team for helping us at every step of this blissful journey. Vishesha Dhanyavadaha to our panelists, Shivani and Vibha. A million thanks to all the attendees who have made this beautiful journey possible. Special thanks to all our well-wishers, donors, and friends for their pratyaksha and paroksha presence, prayers, and wishes. So one of the words says, Nama Parayana Priya.
Prithvi Bhagini, you are in mute. Certainly, we were able to hear you few seconds back.
Okay. So one of the verse says, Nama Parayana Prita. So Devi, Nama Parayanena Prita. So let us all continue the Parayanam of the glorious names of Lalita Parameshwari and also participate in the Samarpanam, in other words, the assessments which we will have shortly. So I request Sandhya Bhagini to share the details about the same. Dhanyavadaha.
ललित महोदय अनन्तानन्त धन्यवादाः यद्यपि भवतां बहवः पाठाः सन्ति तथापि देवी कारणात् भवान् अत्र आगतवान् इति अहं जानामि। वयं सर्वे धन्याः भवतां मुखात् तत्र देवी महिमा विषये ज्ञातवन्तः। अनन्तानन्त धन्यवादाः। We request you on behalf of Vyoma teachers and Vyoma organizers, we request you to conduct some course for Vyoma learners. Vyoma learners are very eager to learn something from you. With that request, which is Devi's request, I would thank you very much for your time and would allow you to proceed to your class. धन्यवादः महोदय।
धन्योऽस्मि। मातु स्मरणेनैव ममुदुति मनः, तस्मात् भवद्भ्यः धन्यवादान् समर्पयामि।
अस्तु महोदय, धन्यवादः।
धन्यवादाः महोदय। So we move to the next part of our agenda, which is we will talk about the course end assessment, oral assessment. So as it was shared in the class earlier, we have an oral assessment at the end of course generally, and usually it will happen 3 weeks after the completion of the course, so that the attendees get sufficient time to prepare for the assessment also. So this can be of 2 types. One is the Parayanam assessment, which is the reading assessment, where you have the script with you and you will read the text. You will chant the Lalita Sahasranama Stotram. The other one is the Kantha Patha. So that is memorization assessment, that is Smaranam. So you would be telling from your memory. So wherein you will not be referring to the book or seeing the book, but you will be telling from the memory. So these are the 2 kinds of assessments. So generally we will send out a mail to you shortly with details on how to register for the assessment, and what is the like how the time slots will be organized, what could be the links, the process to register, and all these details. And the assessment is planned for 22nd December 2021. So one thing which I want to stress about the assessment is this is not to be considered as a, that I'm giving a pariksha for the certification sake. It is basically, it is a Guru Samarpanam that we will be doing. We will have the Gurus, the external scholars who will be coming, and you would be either doing the Parayanam or you would be doing your Samarpanam of what you have learned in front of those Gurus. So it's a Samarpanam actually. So I request all of you, once you get the details about the assessment, to register for this, either through for the Parayanam assessment or for the memorization assessment. So as I mentioned, it is going to be on 22nd December, and you will shortly receive the details on the registration process, etc. So this is about the course and oral assessment. So I request Gomati Bhagini to take over. Gomati Bhagini.
Yes, Bhagini. I'll share my screen.
So I'll stop sharing.
Yes, Bhagini. Whether my screen is visible?
Yes, visible.
Sarvebhyah namaskaraha. I am Gomati from Vyoma Linguistic Labs to present our humble appeal from Vyoma. This is our Seva metrics, and which had been possible by your generous support. We have 18 self-learning multimedia products, 250 plus free courses, and 16 free mobile apps and 4,480 plus recordings which can be accessed through our course pages and the YouTube channel also. And we have 41,000 plus committed learners, and as already said, all these have been possible only by your generous support. And please, we need your help in following these things. And how you can help means by learning what is taught in the class for at least 30 minutes every day, and practice and spend time on what I have learned in the class. When you take this oath, it will be successful in your learning progress. And by teaching this further to any interested student, and you may have a oath to, I will share the knowledge with at least 3 plus students, and by referring Vyoma's courses, products, etc. to every person we meet. In which way means at least one person every day I will talk about Sanskritam, Vyoma, and how they can join this movement. And by your generous donation also, every rupee in which you may be able to donate, that counts to the great cause. This is the donation. There are various ways of donation. If you want to contribute to the corpus fund, any amount can be contributed, and it may continue to benefit many generations. The donation details are as follows. And if you are going to donate in Indian rupees, we have 3 ways to do. Either you can donate by going to sanskritfromhome.org and click donate and do, or you can go to vyomalabs.in and click donate, and that by clicking that link you can donate. Then the second option is you can either transfer by NEFT or RTGS and even IMPS. This is the account which you can transfer the amount, to which you can transfer the amount. Vyoma Linguistic Labs Foundation, and it is with City Union Bank, Vijayanagar, Bangalore. You may note down the account number and IFSC code related to it. And there is third option. You may post or courier a check addressed to Vyoma Linguistic Labs Foundation. And this is the address: Vyoma Linguistic Labs Foundation, 155 4th Cross GKW Layout and Vijayanagar, Bangalore. So if you are going to contribute in US dollars, there is a way for that also. And here also we have the tax benefit. Here you can donate by clicking vyomausa.org, and there we have the donate button, and you can click that and do it, and it's through PayPal. Alternatively, there is a QR code which you can scan and pay. The third option is for any other foreign country other than US. This is the way to transfer. You can do a wire transfer to Vyoma Linguistic Labs Foundation account, that is with State Bank of India, New Delhi. You can note down the associated account number and IFSC code related to it. So, as I said, each money what you spend is for a good cause, and it stands for generations together in spreading the Sanskrit language. And for a contact, we are available at support@vyomalabs.in or sanskritfromhome@vyomalabs.in also. And this is our website, sanskritfromhome.org, vyomalabs.in, and digitalsanskritguru.com. And in social media also, Facebook or Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and you may contact us. You can also call, message or WhatsApp to the Vyoma Lab support number 94808 65623 and also through Skype. Thank you. Dhanyavadaha. Learn Sanskrit. Be really happy. Over to Sandhya Bhagini for any other announcements. Is there? Or shall we go to feedback, Bhagini?
Yes, we can go to the feedback.
Thank you. So we are yet to know that any attendees and participants, whether can you share your feedback about this course? Please raise your hands and so that we can see for sharing the feedback about this course.
Prithvi, you would like to unmute and call out the names of the people who have raised their hands?
Yes, ma'am. Jai Shri Bhagini.
Namaste. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I have learned Sanskrit. In fact, Sanskrit Bharati. I passed all the 4 exams of Sanskrit Bharati, but still pronunciation was something which I very much appreciated by all the panelists and of course my guru Sandhya Bhagini. So it was indeed a real pleasure learning. It was almost like learning at home. So I am very thankful. My heartfelt thanks to you all at Vyoma. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Dhanyavadaha Bhagini. Kannan Mahodaya.
Ram Bhagini. In fact, yesterday also I shared, it's very good, indeed a very good course. I was able to chant very fluently, and I don't know how to thank the teacher and the panelists and the Vyoma. And since I also request Bhagini whether we can chant directly or it requires any other Sri Vidya Upasana like that also. I think Sandhya Bhagini can share that also. As it is, chanting can be done in the morning and evening or during Navaratri days like that. But still, it requires any Sri Vidya Upasana further, like doing the Anganyasa, Karanyasa like that. Also, I think the teacher can explain that also. Dhanyavad-ji. And we definitely will support Vyoma. They are given the details. We'll be sending the money through them, any one of the mode that we'll be doing shortly. Thank you. Dhanyavad-ji.
Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. Yes, now that you have
Ram. Not here.
Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya is that now you have actually started chanting. You have learned the Lalita Sahasranamam. You can continue chanting it as you are mentioning in the morning and evening or during Navaratri. So for further the the upasanas, yes, you need to be done. But however, you can chant the Sri Lalita Sahasranama, like you mentioned that, during during the morning times or evening times or during Navaratri times.
धन्यवादः. Kalaravi Bhagini, you have been unmuted. Okay. Jyoti Bhagini. Vijaya Bhagini, do you want to share?
Yes. Namaskara to all. I just wanted to say that I've been wanting to learn to chant Lalita Sahasranama from a few years, but I got this opportunity and I'm very lucky to have been able to join this course and learn from it. A special thanks to Madam, Sandhya Madam, for each word has been nicely explained in terms of pronunciation. A difficult, long pada also has been split into different parts and explained very nicely, and I could follow quite well. Thank you so much. And I especially thank the panelists as well, which was very helpful to learn. And I also like to say that it is helpful in terms of, the way you have given it, the script itself, highlighted the words to be stressed upon and underlined, and it makes it so much easier to learn. And the recordings also makes it very easy to go back to and correct myself. So thank you overall. Had a great experience. Very grateful for us.
Dhanyavadaha Bhagini. Smita Bhagini.
Ram Ram Ram. Bhagini, it has been a very pleasant journey, and my daughter, she's 8 years. She is the one who is learning every day, because she was finding very difficult to tell the words which you clearly mentioned, and showed her how to say the each words properly. And she's been able to chant Lalita Sahasranama now. It has been a blessing from Devi and Guru from you. And thank you so much for guiding so clearly and so patiently every day, giving her a chance, and corrections being done by Akkaza there. So thank you so much, ma'am. Dhanyavadagalu. Thank you so much. Ram Ram Ram.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ರಾಮ್ ರಾಮ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಾಹ.
Dhanyavadaha Bhagini. Very happy to hear that. Geeta Bhagini.
Namaskaram to Sandhya Bhagini and to the whole Vyoma team. The way the Sandhya Bhagini taught us is very, very excellent, and the pronunciation tips was very, very useful, not only for the Sahasranama course and for all the entire Sanskrit sloka. In the future also we have confidence that we can recite any Sahasranamas, any Sanskrit sloka. In the future also we can recite based on her pronunciation tips. Her patience and humbleness, we are inspired us to learn more and more slokam. And we are very much thankful to the Prithvi and the other panelists also, and the beautiful pronunciation. We are very, very much thankful to Sandhya Bhagini and the entire team. We expect some more chanting courses from her. Thank you, Bhagini.
Dhanyavadaha Bhagini.
Vidya Bhagini. Vidya Bhagini, it says self-muted. Let's move to the next person, Swati Bhagini.
Hi, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, Bhagini.
Someone.
Thanks. So I just want to thank the entire team and to ma'am for taking this course. Though I know Lalita Sahasranamam for a long time, I've been pronouncing it incorrectly. I learned a lot of verses which I've been pronouncing it incorrectly, and I've been practicing it daily. Thank you so much for taking taking the course so precisely in ensuring that we pronounce correctly the Mahaprana and the Alpapranas, and thank you so much for helping us learning perfectly the Lalita Sahasranamam, and I'm sure that everybody would have enjoyed this. And though I'm a working person, but I'm able to dedicate this between 6:30 to 7:30. It has been a blissful experience for me, and thank you so much for all the efforts you've put in to help us learn this beautiful course. Thank you.
Many thanks, Bhagini. Extremely happy to hear that. Swati Bhagini.
Yeah. Heartfelt thanks, Mahodaya, for all the effort you took and the tremendous amount of patience you displayed while teaching us. Every name you chanted was with full of devotion, and the result of all this was that the learning process became very easy, enriching, and a joyful one. You have now actually instilled new confidence in all of us, and for that, Mahodaya, we are eternally grateful to you. And of course, sincere thanks to our young panelists too. Without them, our journey would have been incomplete. Thank you very much, Mahodaya. Mahodaya, the only query I have is the wait to get a chance to chant individually was very long and many times very disappointing. What was the procedure that you people followed?
Okay, so basically we request to raise their hands for chanting. So what happens is, the last 10 or 15 minutes would be there for chanting. So like I have been mentioning in the class, I'll be requesting people to lower the hands after chanting, which generally doesn't happen. So what we do is we request the attendees to raise the hands for chanting. And also I request the attendees, in case if they have not got a chance, to reach out to me separately on my email ID, so that I will at least, make it a point to request to call out their names for chanting. So Bhagini, in case if your name has been left out, has not been called upon for a long time for chanting, please excuse. So it is not it is not an intentional thing. It is basically there'll be so many people who would be raising and who would be trying to call out the different names. So I would be also planning for a couple of, or at least one revision session sometime. So I would be happy to have you to chant in that session and brush upon the pronunciation.
No, ma'am, I did get a chance a couple of times. I did get a chance, but only thing I thought it was an alphabetical order, or I was not understanding, because what I started doing was before the class commenced, I started clicking on that raise your hand symbol so that I get a chance. But many times it didn't happen, so I wasn't understanding what was.
Right. So the procedure is not alphabetical, because if I go by alphabetical, people with letters S and T and U, we will never get a chance. So I always look for the names whom I have not called out, and it is not alphabetical.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Dhanyawad. And of course, we'll also have a chance to chant during the assessments next in front of our teacher again. Uma Bhagini.
Yes, Ram Ram. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No, namaste. And Vyoma has nailed it, ma'am. Vyoma knows exactly how to teach. The method that you are teaching with the teacher, with the additional, helpers, we have really benefited from that. Uchcharanam is what you have tried to lay an emphasis on, and we are so thankful. I honestly have referred Vyoma to a lot of my friends. I hope Vyoma continues this. Sandhya ma'am, you are beautiful in nature, voice and everything. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavadaha, Bhagini. We would be also happy to hear, if you would like to share any important points. It's for all the attendees I'm requesting. So if there are anything that, you want to be implemented in the course, please feel free to suggest to us, write to us anytime.
Sure, ma'am. I'm also taking Sanskrit from Vyoma, and that's where my introduction with Vyoma has come. And I so appreciate that somebody is taking the time to teach all our traditions and our, all our shastras and all our, all the Lalita Sahasranama and Vishnu Sahasranama and so on. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Dhanyavada.
Ina Bhagini, you have been unmuted.
Ram Ram Bhagini. This is Meena Krishna Kumar. I'm from Mysuru. From last 11 years, I was always attracted to Lalita Sahasranama. But I did learn it through somebody, but I was never satisfied. But this time I was able to learn, and I also completed the course. A great thanks to our teacher. I'm also grateful to all the panelists who really helped us in Ucharanam and pronunciation wherever we are making mistakes, and also the big names of Lalita Sahasranama, because we are telling it for the first time, we really fumbled. Rather, I would say I fumbled many times. Still, I'm not able to get the full name. I have to take a breath, but thank you. It was a wonderful experience. And every day evening, I think from tomorrow onwards, 6 or 6:30 sharp, I'm going to chant whatever has been taught. Thank you so much, ma'am. Sandhya ma'am.
Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada. Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
Ma'am, I have one more question. See, in the books which we have other Dhyana shlokas and all those things. Once the Lalita Sahasranama is over, should we repeat all those things?
So in the course, the current course syllabus, we had covered one Dhyana shloka. Yes, there are other Dhyana shlokas also. So it starts with other Dhyana shlokas. You can chant that too. What we have learnt in the course is the first Dhyana shloka and the Sahasranama, the 1000 names. What you are, I think you are also referring to the end of the course, the Palashruti, I guess. That is optional. Generally, Sahasranama chanting is what we do. But if you can, you can do Palashruti chanting also.
Okay. In the end also, then some books have Dhyana Shlokam. Should we say something? Again, Sindura, Runa Vigrahan, Trinayanan, all this thing is there. In the end,
you can close with Sarva Mangala Mangalye, which generally what we do in the class.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Preeti Bhagini.
Namaste, Sandhya ma'am. This was indeed a wonderful course. Like you rightly said in the first class, it's only a lucky few who get to actually learn this Sahasranamam. I frankly didn't know that this Sahasranamam had so many complicated Sanskrit words. I had learned a little bit of Sanskrit in school, but I was so happy that I enrolled in this, and I think it's just a destiny to learn with a nice teacher like you. And I'm very grateful for all the panelists, especially. It's when they conducted the individual chanting sessions, those 3-4 days, I really understood how effective they were, and they have really learned the Sahasranamam very, very well, and they themselves can conduct courses at that level. So very thankful for having such nice panelists, and thank you especially for a lot of patience that you had all through the course. I'm very grateful to have very lucky to have found a teacher like you. I am truly grateful. Thank you, ma'am. There is one small thing that when you were talking about pronunciation, there is a difference between using some and sun. like sun, sallab. So that was a little difficult for me to understand, ma'am. I
Okay.
used to mark out in the text where you have to use and where you have to use an.
Okay, okay.
If you
So
can just
related
let
to
me know that.
pronunciation of anuswara, anunasikas, etc. So what I will do is the class which I'm planning for the revision class, I think I will cover that part again.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Dhanyavada.
Shanti Bhagini.
Hello. Ram Bhagini.
Ram.
I just wanted to tell you, it was such a great pleasure to have this class, and I'm chanting Lalita Sahasram for a few years, but I never knew about all these Mahapranas and Alpapranas and Dvitvams and all that. Thank you so much for teaching us all those. And now I know I can pronounce everything correctly, not like before. And not only Lalita Sahasram, like somebody said, even when we are chanting Vishnu Sahasranamam or any other shlokas, now I'm putting, emphasis on those Mahapranas and Alpapranas and Vitvams and all that. Thank you so much for teaching us the right way. And then thank you so much for all the panelists. They were so good. Prithvi, Shivani, Gauri, all these kids, like I don't know all the names, but they were so good. They were so good. I'm so happy I joined this class. And then it's very, very, and thanks to Vyoma for conducting all these, especially Lalita Sahasram, Saundara Lahari, and all these big stotras. And then thank you so much to Sandhya Bhagini for teaching us all these beautiful things and in a right way, and then, all the pronunciations and everything. I'm so grateful. I cannot tell you my deepest thanks to all the Vyoma team and Sandhya Bhagini and
Dhanyavada Bhagini. Shobha Bhagini.
Yeah, Ram Bhagini. So as I shared yesterday, so it was an excellent experience. Thanks to Sandhya Bhagini and the Vyoma team. It's a very beautiful journey. So every day 6:30, I am waiting for the course. So tomorrow onwards, we will miss the class really. I'm so grateful. No words to say anything. And Vyoma, really all faculties are very good, excellent faculties. Each and every course, it is beautifully they are teaching and the pronunciation and everything. So I'm so thankful to all teachers and especially ma'am. It's an excellent course, ma'am. I will miss you. Further, some other courses I am waiting for. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
Bhagini.
One thing, ma'am, we can enroll for Parayanam and memorization test. Both we can do.
You can opt for one, because if you're doing the memorization test, it is as good as you're doing the Parayanam also, right? So Parayanam is only in case if you're not able to chant out of your memory. So if you're taking up the Smaranam, the Kantapata, then you can continue with that. So one option you will have.
Because very long back, 30 years back, I learned at that time there is no teachers to teach. And I used to buy that one cassette and I used to play and I learned, but that is different. Guru Mukataha, I learned it is, I'm so happy. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Dhanyavada Bhagini. There is Jyotis Mahodaya or Jyotis Bhagini. I see the name. I see that you have unmuted, but I can't hear you, Bhagini or Mahodaya. Yes, ma'am.
Maybe we can request the Bhagini to send out a message to us later with the feedback. We are not able to hear. Okay. Okay. Prithvi, we are done, right? We can move to the next part.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I would like to just share some concluding remarks at the end of this course. As I was telling earlier, this was a very blissful journey for me also. Like most of you said that you were looking forward for the session every day at 6:30. The same thing with me. It was indeed a very truly a great happiness for me, blessing for me to having been able to chant the Sahasranama along with everyone, and especially like most of you told, I so for this course we have had a very good set of panelists, Prithvi, Shivani, Vibha. So I used to call them as Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. So they were really, as you know, they themselves are capable of conducting individual chanting courses, and they have taken their time out for this and join me in conducting this course so efficiently. So if this course has, it is a lot of credit goes to the panelists. And I would also like to thank Vyoma Labs. We have with us Venkata Subramanian Mahodaya from Vyoma Labs for giving me this unique opportunity to run this course and chant along. Dhanyavadaha. So again, last but not the least, I would like to thank all the attendees who made this, to happen. The devotion with which most of you, the raising the hands, the enthusiasm and energy that to chant. So it was really a very good experience. Thank you so much. As I mentioned earlier, I request you to please feel free to share back any feedback that you have. We may not have been able to call out all attendees' name today. So please reach out to me. You have my mail ID. So you can write to me for any of the clarifications you require and or any other feedback you want to share with us with Vyoma Labs. Also, like I said, there would be a communication on the assessment, and I would also send out a communication regarding the additional revision class that we would be conducting. So with this, I would like to conclude with the Mangala Shloka and Shanti Mantra. Prithvi.
सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते। स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः। गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम्। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु।
धन्यवादाः। राम राम राम।